The Civil War had many names: war throughout the states, etc. The Civil War was the bloodiest war fought on American soil. There were two main sides of the Civil War: the Union, aka the United States of America. There was also the Confederate States of America. The main viewpoint of the Union was to rid the states of slavery. The Confederates sought to spread slavery through all of the states. The Confederate States of America started when South Carolina said, "We are going to leave the Union if Abraham Lincoln becomes the 16th president." In 1860, the results of the vote finally showed that most of the states were for Abraham Lincoln. Finally, after all the threats of secession, South Carolina finally followed through on the threat of secession. A few weeks later, there were 6 more states that seceded. The southern states that have seceded have stated that all the military forts that were in their lands belonged to them. Abraham Lincoln wouldn't give up without a fight for those hard-earned U.S. forts. Abe Lincoln had few choices to get the forts in the southern back into the Union. His choices were: go to war and gain the ports the hard way, let the South go in peace, or resupply them and let the forts stay under the American control and keep them in the southern lines. Abe Lincoln had chosen to let the forts be resupplied and stay in peace with the Southerners. On April 14th, 1861, the Union Fort Sumter had little supplies. Abe Lincoln had decided to restock Fort Sumter as he had let the Confederates know of his move. With the Confederates have known that they took the upper hand and attacked Fort Sumter. The attack on Fort Sumter had lasted about 40 hours. After the Confederates took over the fort, the Confederate general let the Union soldiers go in peace. That was when the Civil War truly started. In June of 1863, General Lee had led 71,699 troops against the Union General Meade and his fighting force of 93,921. This fight took place near Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. This fight would become the worst and bloodiest fight in American soil. On day 1 of a three-day fight, General Lee made a fourth of his troops go on the offensive and attack all of General Meade's troops. When the Confederates' morale lowered, General Lee withdrew his troops and waited till day 2. On day 2, he sent the 2nd Corps to attack, and they retreated because of major losses. On day 3, the final day, Lee sent every last troop he had after the Union Army. His plan failed severely. In fact, General Lee lost about 28,000 men. The Union lost about 23,000 men. In the end, the Union saw that the Confederates were not only beatable, but they had an Achilles tendon. In the long run, when the war was over, the Confederates surrendered.